Hello, Statesman Nation, and welcome. It's time for another season preview, and we've previewed the women's bowling. Now it's time to turn our attention to the men's side, and with us here once again is Coach Brandon Brooks as he coaches both teams. And Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well.
Doing well. Excellent. And how are things going so far in this new year? It's your first full year at the helm of the bowling program here at William Penn.
Yeah, it's going well, and obviously it's different. Things were pretty well rolling last year, and so coming in and bringing new players in, trying to get them acclimated, and trying to keep things moving forward. But it's going really well. I'm pretty excited about the season and ready to get things started.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk a little bit about last year then. 3 top 10s, 7 top 5 finishes, 4 second place finishes. What did you like out of the half of the season that you got to see on the men's bowling program?
Yeah, I mean, really good things. They showed a lot of progress, I think, from December to, the end of the season, obviously, and a lot of those top 2 finishes, the second place finishes come in that time. And so that was fun to see. It was really fun to come in and really have the players buy in to me and kind of how I wanted to do things. And that was fun. It was definitely good to see all of that, and I think we're just continuing that this year here as well.
Yeah, so from last year's team, you lost a couple guys in Curtis and Nick, and maybe a few others as well. What do you think of the talent that you lost, and how about some of the returners? You can mention them and some of the new players that you brought in as well.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Curtis and Nick both being NAI All-Americans, that's a pretty good hit. I mean, that was definitely something, that being said, they were obviously super valuable last year, contributed a ton, almost every tournament. And so that was big for us coming down the stretch last year for sure, and being able to kind of jump on their backs and having that leadership there was good. But at the same time, we've got a lot of players that are still here and ready to step up and kind of fill those roles, and I definitely look for them to do that. Obviously, Xander and Rock are juniors this year, and so they're ones that I would look forward to kind of step in and fill some of that. Logan's a senior this year, and he stepped up big for us, probably more so in the first semester last year, but I look for him to kind of do the same thing. And so, yeah, we had some losses, but at the same time, we have some returners that are definitely going to fill some of those spots and fill some of the gaps there and kind of take hold and keep us moving forward, along with some newcomers. So we got some freshmen coming in that I think are going to be able to contribute early. We also have a transfer from Iowa Central who comes to us with some experience, and we'll be able to, and Brandon Freeze, be able to step up and fill some of those roles as well.
So a pretty good mix on this year.
Yeah, I'm really happy with where we're at. I think we're going to be able to definitely keep things moving forward. And Nick, we lost Nick as a player, so he's kind of transitioned into more of a coaching role. He's here still finishing his degree, and so he's going to be a heavy force on the men's side still, helping coach at tournaments and obviously at practice and that type of thing. So he's still here, still contributing, just obviously in a much different way than he was able to last year. So.
But still good to have that veteran leadership.
Oh,
there
absolutely!
And influencing the new people and the newcomers to the school.
Yep, for sure. He's seen it. He's been a part of it. He kind of knows. He knows me. He knows kind of how we're running things, and definitely has been a big help this year already. So. Excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Then talk a little bit about the season, and we'll preview a little bit of the schedule as well. The men come in 5th in the NAIA Coaches Poll to start the year.
Yep.
What events are they going to go to, and how does they stack up in some of those events?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, just like on the women's side, we go to all the same tournaments, and so they're going to be participating in all the big tier ones and the tournaments we always have in the past, with the exception of making the change from the Jayhawk to the 5 Seasons Classic is what it's called, which held in Cedar Rapids this year. And so yeah, that'll be good, I think, for them to be able to continue on that and with the same schedule. And I think as far as teams, 5th obviously in the NAIA is where we fell there. Last year they ended the season 10th in the nation among all collegiate teams, and was able to get some wins there at the USBC National Tournament. NAIA Invitational didn't go probably as well as we would have liked it to, but I definitely think they bounced back from that and had a good showing at the USBC tournament. So So yeah, I think I just like the women, I have really high expectations for what the men are going to be able to do. I look for us to exceed our 5th NAIA ranking, and honestly, I think we can even be ranked inside the top 10 for USBC this year. By the end of the season as well. So.
Yeah, and there's a red banner on the line this year as the Invitationals become a national championship bout for bowling. So how excited does that make everyone? There's a bit more at stake.
Yeah, I mean, I think any time that you can compete for a national championship, like that's a big deal. We should make it a big deal, and I think it is. And obviously the first year for the NAIA, but it's still a national championship. And it's obviously in bowling for USBC, all the teams are together, and so it's all the big schools and all the schools that nobody else competes with and that type of thing, and which is really exciting, and that's a big deal too. But there's some really good teams in the NAIA. I would say and I don't know based on rankings, but I venture to say most of the NAIA schools that are going to be there are within the top 20, as far as USBC ranking goes. So really good, strong programs. Grandview's got a good team. They did last year, and I imagine they probably haven't lost a whole lot. Mount Mercy's got a good team. So I think there's some good programs out there, especially on the NAIA side, but I definitely know that our men are going to be able to hold their own and really give it a run this year. So our goal here is win a national championship. And I think we'll start with the NAIA. So.
Yeah, that's the first out of the gate. And speaking of first out of the gate, what is the first event that you have coming up?
Yes, we're going to be the Midwest Collegiate Championships in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. I think that's how you say it. So,
Good go anyway.
Yeah, so I sounded confident anyway. But it's a big tournament, a big Tier 1. Been around for like 49 years or something crazy. And so definitely a good test to kind of see where we're at right now. I know that we're going to get better. So obviously, it's a test, and I want to see where we're at. That's going to tell us some things on what we need to do and what we need to work on. But at the same time, like it's week 1. It's a first tournament, and we're going to move on from it regardless. We win the thing, we're still going to move on. We're going to get better and move on to the next one. But yeah, so it'll be a good tournament for sure.
And then just because I'm new to it, and maybe some people watching are not new to bowling, but bowling tournaments, what are some of the events that take place at the tournament, and how does that all shake down?
So as far as structure goes, like all tournaments are going to be different. So we go to some tournaments which are all Baker games, so like the McHenry Baker Challenge, it's 100% Baker games. ITC sectionals is 100% Baker games. So basically what that means is we have five people on a roster, and the first person bowls the first and the 6th frame, and the second bowls the 2nd and the 7th, and the 3rd and the 8th, and 4th, and so on, until you bowl the whole game that way. And those are called Baker games, and so we do a lot of that. And then we also do team games or individual games, which are all scored as a team. And so we have 5 guys again, they're all bowling their own game, and that total is also counted towards our team score. So, like in Wisconsin, I think it's 5 team games, 5 or 6 games on Saturday. So we'll bowl 5 or 6 games Saturday, be done at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, go to the hotel, eat dinner, spend the night, get up on Sunday and bowl, sometimes 24 Baker games. It just kind of depends. All the tournaments are different. They all kind of run them differently, so it depends on the number. Sometimes if there's 16 games and they do less Bakers on Sunday, or vice versa. So yeah, that's basically the 2 formats that we use.
Okay. And then how do you prepare for an event? They're long marathon things, you said, a lot of time at the bowling alley, and it's kind of like golf, it's a very individual sport. So how do you prepare them mentally to go through 2 huge long days of bowling their best?
Yeah, we talk about, we talked on the women's side, a lot of those things we do, we do the same things with the men's team, as far as targeting and physical game and how you work on all of that. Athletic performance is huge for us. Sports medicine is huge for us to be able to make sure people are staying healthy and getting healthy. Then on the mental side too, we talk a lot about having a short-term memory, and putting the blinders on and making sure that we're focused on what we're doing and what we can control, and what we can improve while we're practicing, and then while we're traveling too, while we're at the tournament. Hey, what happened on the lane next to us? We can't control that. What happened on the lane that we just came from? We didn't have a good set. We can't control that anymore. We're moving on to the next thing. Just making sure we have a short-term memory, because you can't let the last shot or the last game or yesterday affect what you're doing right now. You got to kind of stay in the moment there. And so that's what we talk about. That's how we try to stay focused on the weekends.
And then finally, anything else you want to throw into the team, what you're excited for, any other cool events that are going on, and then a shout out to the event in Sioux City to try and get some statesmen out there and support the squad.
Yeah, so we'll be in Cedar Rapids there in November.
Cedar Rapids, my
So
bad.
that's
yeah.
all right. And then when people go in the wrong direction.
Yeah, true.
No, it's good. So that'll be fun to see kind of what kind of following we can get there. And we got our demo day in November for. I mean, it's open to anybody, but I would say more so people who are kind of into bowling and maybe bowl league or maybe don't have a ball and they want to get their own. It's a great time to be able to come and try out some equipment. Pretty cheap. You get a T-shirt and be able to interact with some of the players and that type of thing. So that'll be kind of fun, to see how that goes over. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well then, Statesman Nation, hopefully you follow on the social media as well as the Statesman Athletic website. We'll keep you up to date on the bowling teams as they go about their season. And again, if you're in the Cedar Rapids area, come out and follow that match in November. Otherwise, Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great season and talk to you soon.